What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Dan here from, I'm just Dan here. Um, if I sound a little off, just a heads up. I just had dental surgery. I had a broken wisdom tooth pulled, so I'm on, which, I'm basically, I had to drink, I am, dulling the pain with, so if I sound a little off or slur my words, it's not, you know, now you know why, but let me get to the actual video. Why I call, which is, you saw the title. You're here for the explanation. So, Medicare for all. Get to the point. A lot. What I really want to point out is something that what I know a lot of people will forget. Maybe not forget, but it's not brought up. I think it's not brought up enough on how it will benefit it. And you have all these people saying it won't work because it's a lot. Basically, you've heard all the reasons. But what's interesting is there is a historical example that does prove that a Medicare for all, and even to a certain point, UBI. See, this is actually what closely what I'm about to tell you relates to UBI and Medicare for all. But it relates. It's more so. Little history lesson: the ancient Romans. Yes, Caesar. Actually, this has to do with Caesar. So, you all remember that Caesar got assassinated by the Senate, and then Cleopatra tried to keep the Romans out with Mark Antony and died, and Rome absorbed Egypt. Well, what you might not know is that Rome used Egypt to engage in a form of social welfare. If anybody's ever heard the term dole out, like you dole out like bread or whatever, that actually comes from an ancient Roman thing called the dole. What was the dole? It was a grain reserve which was taken from Egypt because Egypt had the Nile, which means and due to all the infrastructure that was been built since the pharaohs, it could produce a mass amount of grain. It became the breadbasket of the Roman Empire. And so what happened is because they had so much grain, what they would do is they would actually give out grain for free. Why did they do this? Because getting Egypt as a Roman province not only gave them access to grain, it gave them access to the Indian Ocean, which means they could trade by sea with the Arabs, what would become the Ethiopians, India, and Han China. And what they wanted to do is by giving out that free grain, the idea was to basically, because your people don't have to deal with food, you can actually take that money and put it in other things like luxury foods like beef, because beef, until we had the cowboys back in Texas back in the day, cattle was extremely hard to raise, and it costs a lot of money. So they'd buy stuff like that. They'd buy these new exotic spices coming from India, incense coming from Ethiopia, and even like jade and silk. So, and what did that do? That bolstered the Roman economy, and that is what I think would happen if we did. Why I think one of the biggest arguments for Medicare reform is and then I'm bringing this up, is that we're seeing a dip towards a recession. There are the signs. If we can do a Medicare like a universal healthcare system, people are suddenly more willing because they're not focused on paying bills. Hell, even more, if you go with the student relief part, you can take that money that you're not spending on debt, like medical or student loan debt, and spend that, because people, I think, and Andrew Yang put it best when he talked about the UBI, is people will spend money. if I don't, like for instance, if I suddenly were free of my credit card debt like that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put my credit card away, I would suddenly have money to spend on anything. I wouldn't be worried to about that, especially because if debt is manageable, people have a lot more of what's called disposable income. Just as the Romans realized, if you take care of people's needs, they will spend and grow the economy. It is an obvious. It's funny they talk about how much it costs. Look at how much you're going to make. As I said, the Romans saw the investment in their people because they knew it would, increase tax revenue. Yeah, because people sales taxes, all that fun stuff. And I've said it enough. That is actually kind of my economic argument for Medicare for all, and actually my historical backing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you don't like it, tell me why. I want to know. I want to know your opinion, because you could try to persuade me, but I think I'd be more likely able to persuade you. Let's see about that. My name's Dan. You all have a wonderful night. Peace.